Hey, time to put my GM hat on, hoodie tone in the building, man. Hey, look, man, I'm gonna put my GM hat on, and I'm gonna tell you how should the Washington Commanders approach pick 16 in particular. Should we go by need based or should we go best player available? Comment your thoughts on today's video. Also, subscribe to the channel and go ahead and hit that like button. And one more thing, man, subscribe to all my bros down in the description. Go follow this on the daily on Instagram and subscribe to my Life of Tone channel. You want vlogs, reaction videos, all that. Go subscribe for the intro. Welcome back to the Protest. What knows your boy Tone. I'm back with a video, man. If I get to an AGT, Joe, go to God. If I God, we'll turn down God's will do it. People got your name from today's video. I'm gonna give you guys my approach to pick 16 in particular and why I will go with what I will go with and why. And I'm gonna explain both sides of the spectrum and pros and cons to both. So would I go need based? Like I need a tackle. I'm gonna just go tackle. I need a tackle. Or why I go, I need a tackle, but I can take one later. Let me get the best player available on my board. It might be a position of all very strength. I don't care. I want the best player available. I'm going BPA all the time. I will approach drafts, especially a team that didn't make the playoffs. You want elite talent. You don't care where it's coming from. Because that player can help you. Example, you take Brian Branch, right? If he's your best player available on the board, he might be a safety. You might not need a safety, but guess what he can do? He can go play the nickel. You can make him play outside corner if you really need an outside corner. You can have him blitz. You can use elite talent in elite ways and in different ways, in very versatile ways. If Bijan Robinson is your best player on your board, I don't care. Take him. He's the best player on your board at the time you're selecting. Take him. Because he's elite. He's an elite back. I don't care. I'm not a big fan of taking running backs in the first round either. So I tell you how I feel about Bijan Robinson. If Christian Gonzalez is your best player on your board, take him. When you take players for need, you miss out on elite talent. And I don't want to keep harping on this because I harp on it as I started my channel. 2018 NFL Draft. The Washington Redskins at the time took Daron Payne with the 13th pick. Now, Daron's looked very good in his career. He had a really good year last year. Borderline great season last year. But before that year, Derwin James and possibly Tremaine Edmonds looked a lot better than him. And we missed out on elite talent in my eyes with Derwin James. You don't want to miss on elite talent drafting for a need. Let me give you another example. In the first round, I give you an example how taking BPA could also hurt you too, though. For example, in the 2017 NFL draft, or 2016, might have been 16. 16. Who we took a server term? No, it was 16. We took Jonathan Allen with the 17th pick. Another example how BPA works. Jonathan Allen has been elite. See how it works? You got an elite blue chip player at the 17th pick because you went best player available. Did it off the top of my head. But in 2016, it didn't work out because the best player on their board at the time was Josh Dotson, and he failed. So it has pros and cons. So BPA sometimes fails, and if it fails, it hurts you even more because you didn't get a player you really needed, a position of need, right? When you go need-based, these are pros and cons of need-based drafts. When you go for need in the first round and you don't go best player available, you miss out on elite talent. That's a con. Pro is you fill a need immediately that you really need to fill, that you desperately need to fill. if it's desperate. Sometimes not even desperate, you just need a player, but you feeling that need immediately and you check it off your list. That's a pro. Cons is you missed out on elite talent sometimes. I give you an example. Give you two examples. 2017, you drafted Jonathan Allen over a player that you might have needed later on. Our defensive line wasn't horrible, but you took an elite player and he's been elite for you. Now, the statistics didn't match the actual productivity sometimes, but the statistics didn't match the actual assistance he made on the field. But Jonathan Allen has been elite. So, and then one time I said, we need to trade him. I was dead wrong. Man's been elite. Another example of it is in the 2016 draft when it didn't work with Josh Dotson. Now, the need-based thing worked out in 2018 overall with Daron Payne. But for the first 3 years, it didn't look too hot. You know what I mean? So sometimes taking need isn't the best thing to do. Taking the best player available. Now, let's say if our best player available was a wide receiver, then you don't take him. Or you do take him because Curtis Samuel's on in his last year of his deal. So it kind of can help you too, because sometimes you have players on expiring deals that you might not want to re-up on. You get a guy on a rookie deal that you can kind of save cap numbers on as well. Another guy, let's say, God forbid, we lose Cameron Curl next year, but you drafted Brian Branch. You get what I'm saying? Or Bijan Robinson with Antonio Gibson. So that it gives you versatility when you take BPA. BPA is always the best way to go to me because you get the best player on the board. And he can help you immediately because he's probably an elite talent. That's how I approach my first round. If I was a GM, I would go best player available. Because need-based, sometimes you're reaching for a player. Like example, for another team, the Las Vegas Raiders. They reached for Alex Leatherwood in the first round. And guess what? Alex Leatherwood is no longer on their roster. I'm going to give you one more Washington example before I get out of here. 2019, we reached for a need. We reached for Dwayne Haskins Jr. God rest his soul. But guess what? Within 2 years, he was no longer on this roster. Don't draft for need, y'all. Ain't the best way to go. Draft BPA. They stay on your roster. Ask Jonathan Allen. Matter of fact, ask Montez Sweat too. Could we trade it back up and got the best player on the board? Ask Montez Sweat. Best player on the board time. Guys, be easy, like, comment, subscribe. Also, guys, be safe, stay healthy, stay blessed. Peace.